So moving on to our next topic, sports marketing. Now, modern sports sponsorship holds immense power. From thrilling events to worldwide exposure, it's become a dynamic avenue for brands to captivate audiences and create positive, lasting impressions. In addition, the digital era has brought endless opportunities for engagement, allowing sponsors to connect directly to their passionate supporters, enhancing brand loyalty like never before. On the flip side, though, in today's fast-paced world, ongoing globalization and digitization bring a number of challenges with them too. So in the next section, we ask ourselves the simple question, how do you win the sponsorship game? Well, I'm very pleased to welcome onto the stage Andreas Ullmann and Philip Tapper from the Sports People, TSP, who are going to tell us about what's needed for modern sports marketing. Put your hands together.
So, good morning, everyone. Don't be afraid. We do not want to talk about boxing. So it's more about the sparring perspective, how we work together with brands and rights holders. So our purpose is to bring brands and sports together. And today we would like to talk about the partner's perspective, what it means to us. So doesn't matter where we are coming from. Here we would like to talk and open up a brand perspective. So before we starting a process, before we starting in projects, it's about to think about the brand. It's to make clear what are the objectives, which are the stakeholders, strategy, opportunities. So this is a starting point, but there's much more to come. So now, Philip, it's up to you to go more in detail.
Thank you. As Andreas said, we are taking the partner's perspective, and when we talk to brands or rights holders, then we help them switch the perspective. So when a rights holder wants to approach a brand, it helps when the rights holder takes the perspective of the brand and asks, from the brand's perspective, what's in there for me? So what do brands want? And if we have a look at it and the brands have their own objectives, maybe some KPIs underneath. They have their own strategy, and millions, maybe an exaggeration, but dozens of opportunities, and every sponsorship platform says we're the right platform for you, but they have to make the decisions. So from a rights holder's point of view, slip into the brand's shoes and have a look what they are looking for. On the other hand, the sponsorship platforms itself, it could be a club, it could be a federation, it could be a tournament or an athlete, they have goals and objectives themselves, not from a sponsorship point of view, but from their very own strategic point of view. They have to serve different stakeholders. I believe most of you can relate that you do not have you're not on your own, but you have to serve the board. You have to serve some political aspects. So this has to be taken into account too. You have challenges, dozens of it on a daily basis, but you also have future topics that you have to achieve and take into account. And if a brand and a rights holder are matching right in this intersection, this is where good sponsorship happens. Could be one takeaway. But if you only look at this intersection, you forget about maybe the most important thing in sports marketing, and that's the fan. The fans are not interested in advertising, and they're not interested in the platform itself. They want to live out their passion. They want to be entertained. They use certain channels, and they have a whole their own culture. And if we are only looking for the intersection between platform and brand, we are leaving out the cultural part of the community and missing a whole lot of emotional potential. So This right in the middle is where the magic happens, where good sports sponsorships can work, when all perspectives are served. I think that sounds logic, but the question is, how can you approach it when you really want to become operative? Our approach for most of our projects is we take 3 steps. At first, we explore and try to, as Anders Insert yesterday also stressed, we try to understand the problems. We explore every perspective, the platform's perspective, the brand's perspective, and the fans' perspective. After we explored and we got all the information we need, we evolve these problems and try to map out strategies. And afterwards, it's about the experience, what you make out of it. So I want to take you, or we want to take you on a journey through the 3 phases from these different perspectives. In the explore phase for brands, as Andreas already showed, we got different aspects and all the layers that they are underneath. So you gotta dive into these things deeply to really understand what your brand looks like, or from a rights holder's perspective, what the brand of your partner looks like and what they want to become. This is happening sometimes, and it's good that the decision makers are stressing it, but oftentimes you are too self-centered, and that goes for a brand point of view, but also for a rights holder's point of view. Speaking of rights holders, for rights holders, it goes the same way. We have to have a deeper look into the different strategic aspects of the competitions of the own brand. And we, together with EHF Marketing, did that for the club competitions, for the EHF club competitions, and built the strategy flywheel. So we identified 7 areas. It's about future topics, be it in marketing or in society in general, about the partners' needs. So what do sponsors want and need these days in general? The own strategic positioning inside the handball world, but also in a sports marketing world in general. The own target groups, the target markets, the own core assets, so what is most valuable from a brand point of view, and the core channels, TV, Twitch, something like that. And we took a deep dive into these topics with different approaches. For example, some facts and figures and numbers from market intelligence, but also I talked about stakeholders earlier. Did some qualitative interviews with stakeholders from the EHF Cosmos to really take their perspectives, and there are on an international basis very many stakeholders to be served. One example, the future topics that we took into a look into, societal trends and stuff like that. The things we looked into were purpose and CSR, the overall goals and objectives of the EHF, but also of sponsors and marketing decision makers, and that sponsors are looking for a deep integration into a platform and into their partners. So we identified some resonating topics, which are gender equality. I mean, handball is one of the sports where female sports is really, really being shown. And I mean, we saw it in Budapest with the Final Four 2 weeks ago, with a massive crowd and really good positioning of women's sports. We have many stories to tell. We got strong narratives based on the core values of handball. And there's also a topic of the next generation. And that goes for the audience, that goes for young players, and that goes for new channels and stuff like that as well. So these were the resonating topics of EHF and commonly the brands. And what we derivated from that was that we should define authentic intersections where the goals of the brand and the goals of EHF match. And you can form an alliance, become allies, and go forward to develop the platform, but also to develop the brand. As I said before, you cannot do good sponsorship without taking the fans' perspective. What do fans want and need? There are many different target groups in sports, many different smaller communities also in handball, but some of the things they want and need are experiences. They want to be close to the action, they want to experience something special. They are used to content, they want access, and as you see here, the example of Formula One and Drive to Survive, the younger success of Formula One is, in our opinion, mainly based on their content-driven strategy. So fans want experiences and they want content. They want stories, and there are so many stories to be told in sports, especially if you not look into football, where nearly every story is already being told, but in other sports, there are so many stories that will be valued by the fans that are not told yet. And they want to participate. They want to become part of the event, of the platform. And last but not least, Alex and the FIS colleague talked about it as well. They want to be entertained. So fans have different wants and needs, and if you take that into account and match the perspectives of the brand, of the rights holder, and of the fan, you can really evolve the core of the partnership. And if you have a look at it and combine all these perspectives, this is where the magic happens, and then you can find the purpose of the partnership. Purpose is a strong word, we know that, but it's maybe you can also call it sweet spot, and it doesn't have to be a deep purpose, but something that works from every perspective, and that is where good sponsorship happens. So if you took these perspectives and you really dove into it in the explore phase, after that, you look at the partnership and then define joint targets. So as in the EHF example, define common intersections and tackle these challenges together, the brand and the rights holder. Take a strategic approach, know what you're doing, and go on step by step based on strong insights. And then find individual ways of cooperating. So it's not the standard one, it should be, or it can be tailor-made. And the best partnerships where the sponsors really take on a new role are tailor-made, and you really find individual ways of cooperating. Then it's the transition from sponsor to partner. Many of you might think, okay, this is something that guys on stages told us already 10 years ago. And that's right. We are talking about from sponsorship to partnership for nearly a decade or maybe longer now. But what does that mean? Which role do brands really take on in a partnership? They can become a storyteller. They can become innovators of the sport and really do something for the sport and for the community. They can become enablers in the ecosystem. They can become hosts or even media outlets. So when you really take the deep dive in the evolve phase and find the sweet spot for your strategic approach, brands can take on new roles and really become partners with a meaning. If you know all of that and you have good insights, then you can go into the experience phase, and all the ideas you may generate in the creation and in the execution are based on strong insights. And as it goes with every good idea, it is based on strong insights. Maybe the insights are what you feel because you're already part of the culture, as, for example, Alexander Walkenhorst is in the beach volleyball community. He just feels what the community wants and needs. But for most of us, it really, really pays off to dive deep into the different perspectives, to find the sweet spot, and to have good insights to then get into execution and into creation. And this is where analysis and creation meet.
So the next part will be that we are able to show you some insights and some deeper information about our projects which we conducted with some partners of us. For example, for Fortuna Düsseldorf. So many of you, maybe you're from Germany, you know, Fortuna für alle, Fortuna for all. So, but behind there is a lot of, I would say, preparation. And we have conducted some studies together with the guys from Fortuna and preparation of really a big project in Germany. And here it was all about to hear what fans want, to hear what they are looking for. As one example. The second one, some years ago, we had discussions about the potential objectives of Airbnb before we produced something like a business story for them together with the IOC. So we are working together with the IOC in collaboration and try to address Airbnb. Last but not least, so there's a video behind. I can push the button in a second. Brand transformation, we worked in collaboration with the EHF marketing in the field of a go-to-market strategy and think about the USPs of handball and the positioning of handball, plus something like a sales document to address potential partners. And we can show you now our work. You can see it here in some different areas here. You can look through the slides, and I guess you will find the partner's perspective on each slide. Okay?
Just ready for get on the court to see you jump in. Just ready for step on the floor to mesmerize. Just ready for get on the show to hear you shout. Just ready for step on the floor to mesmerize. Now. Just ready for get on the court to see you jump. Just ready for step on the floor to mesmerize me.
So if you want to have a closer look at the sales deck, I believe David is happy to show you later on. To wrap it up, how to win the sponsorship game. Explore in depth, take a really close look at the different angles, explore in depth and really mean it. Match the perspective that you explored before, and then, or based on that, on these strong insights, customize your cooperations. Do not do the same thing as you did for years. Customize it so it fits the brand, the platform, and the fans. Thank you.